Okay, we had a bit of a DC heavy week last week. What with all the rebirth stuff. So we're going to do a bit more Marvel this week because DC didn't have any rebirth titles for us to talk about. So we don't have much choice. And it's all about the captains this week. Captain America Steve Rogers issue 2 dropped, which was an interesting one because of what happened in issue 1. Scott, you've been reading Steve Rogers,
Yeah,
is that right?
yeah, yeah. It was good. I liked the first issue, and
Tell
then
us about the
everyone went
first
and
issue.
everyone blew it out of the proportion, and I'm still not sure why. Well, I
Well,
get it now, obviously.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so Captain America doing his Captain Americaning,
Mm,
as he does because he's Captain America.
that's right.
I'm just gonna shoehorn Captain America in as many times as I can in this sentence. This explanation thing.
Just making it
So
a
yeah,
verb.
Captain America does his thing, being Captain America, and then at the end of the issue one, uh, he doesn't do Captain America. He throws someone who's not Captain America out of a plane, and then goes, "Hail Captain America!" Sorry, "Hail Hydra!" And then the internet proceeded to lose its shit, not understanding how comics work for some reason. It's as if no one read comics on the internet or something. It's like, oh my god, you've ruined Captain America, and people were getting death threats because that's what the internet does. They've not learned. It is illegal. I wish people would get charged for doing that. But yeah, everyone went crazy. Comic book readers was like, there's probably a logical explanation for this, and we got a very not what I was expecting. Not conclusion, but explanation in issue 2, which was awesome. I actually genuinely dug it. Red Skull being Red Skull. I was cool. I was like, yes, I'm on board with this.
Yeah, there was a lot of explanation in issue 2. I'll say that for it. Alex, do you know much about what's been going on with Captain America and all this stuff?
I know this storyline. I've read the Pleasant Hill bits and bobs, and
Good.
like Scott, I thought it was really good explanation. I like the fact that Red Skull's been there for a long time doing what he's
Yeah.
been doing, and that Kobik's been in league with him, or I suppose under his control, for want of a better term,
Mm.
as kids are, and that Kobik is actually a little girl. The way the way that she acts is like a child, and she's suffering from being under his thrall. This is what Daddy said to do. So Daddy did this, and
Yeah.
that's how it worked.
So to give people who maybe don't know about Captain America a bit of a background into it, there was this whole a standoff mini event crossover thing with the Avengers, where old man Captain America ended up getting his powers back as a result of a what's it called, a sentient version of the cosmic cube, which you all know from the Avengers movies. It kind of reinvigorated him. And at the end of the first issue of Captain America Steve Rogers 1, he chucks who is it out of a plane? Is it one of the what like the guy who used to be Bucky a while ago? I've forgotten his name. And it basically
He just goes, "Wee." That's
yeah
all I remember. And he's like, "Hell,
gave the Hail Hydra the opening to a great meme on the internet, which has just been redone hilariously for the last few weeks. Hopefully this hasn't put an end to it. But yeah, this issue basically explains how that came about, and as lots of people speculated, it was a case of a bit of I don't know whether to call it brainwashing. Basically, the Cosmic Cube has rewritten Cap's memories. It hasn't rewritten history, but it's made him a Hydra agent in his mind, if you like.
which is cool. It's not bastardizing the character to a point.
No,
Yeah, I
And
think it's
if the setup's there from where we like the Pleasantville stuff, like that's cool. Like if that was what it was planned, that was like that's really cool.
yeah. I'm led to believe it is what they planned. I mean, you read the Pleasantville stuff, Alex. So, what does it make? Having them basically release this big reveal, a full issue of kind of exposition, how all this fits together, showing you behind the scenes of the last few storylines that led to this point. How does it make you feel about the event that you read previously, and how you think about that story?
That Maria Hill had absolutely no control over what she thought she was doing.
Hmm.
I think it's really, really smart way of playing it, and it's all tying in as well with Civil War, in the fact that Maria Hill thought that she had this cracking idea of locking everybody up so they couldn't do anything bad again, which again is tying into Ulysses on Civil War, when in fact it was Red Skull basically orchestrating the whole thing from a long distance away through this fragment of the cosmic cube that had then taken over Dr. Selvig, and then, but again, Kobik didn't think she was doing anything wrong. She just thought perfection is Hydra because this is what she'd been taught, and I really, it's quite a deep story. I really like it.
Good. I mean, I wasn't married to the Pleasantville storyline anyway, so it didn't really upset my view of it. Sometimes you do find that when someone essentially kind of retcons something, you get the people who had enjoyed that story as it was and don't want it casting in a new light, and then the people who actually don't care or they find it more interesting that way because they can reread it and find different things out of it. I don't know whether it's a deep enough story and a well orchestrated enough story for you to really get that much more out of it. But
I think had it been longer, definitely there would have been a much more of a wow moment this issue of Steve Rogers. Because it was, I mean, if you only read the standoff titles, there was only a couple of those, two of those. It was all of the other tie-ins, which sort of trod on the same ground as well. They didn't really open up that much, but it was an interesting idea. Particularly for Maria Hill, who's absolutely losing the plot at the moment, and she has no idea what's going on around her.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of in her character to be in over her head. It's part of who she is, really, ever since her inception. So that kind of fits. I'll be interested to see where it goes next. I mean, the problem with a book like this is you've got the central character to the story is a villain for all intents and purposes, and you've got to kind of root for him somehow. You're rooting for Cap to kind of take control of his own mind again, I guess. I mean, what do you think they're going to do with it next, Scott? Like, where are you hoping this story's going to go?
I actually don't quite know, because I wasn't expecting it to be as much of an impact as it was like Red Skull being behind it all. I was like, some time travel bullshit, but no, it's like, no, his memories, so everything's still in continuity, and just Red Skull being behind it. I was like, yeah, that's cool. But as to where it can go, I do want to see it with like a torn Cap. Like he's got two different memories, if that makes sense. Like he has his memories of being good, but he's also like, but I'm Hydra. So like, I don't know, I can just imagine this like, do you know when Shield did it, where they had the Shield logo, but then it turned to the Hydra logo? So I have this panel, like it's a splash panel, both pages. It's just Cap. One side is like his Shield memories, and the other side is Hydra, and it's just all cracked and stuff. And then like that's the issue cover or something, and I'm like, yeah, he's battling with himself. That'd be cool.
Yeah, one of the last Cap story I really enjoyed was Ed Brubaker's run, and the Red Skull was a big part of that. And he's always got this plan that involves corrupting Captain America. He's not really interested in just beating him. He wants to kind of ruin him.
Yeah, ruin the idea. Like it's was it when the incursions were happening and he put on the Infinity Gauntlet, and then it was like, is the power corrupting Captain America? Can Captain America be corrupted? Like that's what Marvel seemed to like to do with Captain America. Is like, can he be?
Yeah, it's to show like the purity of his spirit can overcome whatever. And in the last time, he was trying to basically steal his body so that Red Skull could be Cap and just ruin his life, if you like, and do what he wanted with him. And this is like the next way of doing it. He's stealing sort of Cap's mind and his free will, and it is a really kind of it's a really invasive way of going about your business, and it will make it all the sweeter, I suppose, when he cracks out of it. And Marvel have established in the past about brainwashing type stuff. Xavier talks about it in New Avengers, how you can kind of change someone's mind about something, or you can make them believe you're not there, or you can make them see something that's not there, but you can't change who they are. you can do something in the short term, like make them think they're a woman or whatever, but the brain will fight back. It's an organism that has all these memories built in. It knows what it is, and it will eventually fight back. So I'll be interested to see if it's a case of like Cap's psyche resurfacing and kind of overcoming. But the way, I mean, it was so. The first issue was this big sort of bomb drop, and then the second issue was the cleanup, and I thought it might have dragged out for longer than that. So I can see this being quite a compressed story.
I hope not. I hope it is this epic battle with it. I know, like, I hope it leaves him damaged. I hope Cosmic Cube doesn't just go, boop, you're normal again. You didn't have that memories. I hope that's not the Deus Ex Machina. Like, no, please don't do that. Leave Cap scarred by what he's doing as a Hydra agent.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool.
I mean, did any of you read Superior Spider-Man?
I read the first 3 volumes of it, and my housemate will kill me.
So
because that's like one of his favourite Spider-Man stories.
The way they got around it there is that for the
that's
first,
with Doc Ock in it.
For the first while, it had like Ghost Peter in it.
Yeah.
Do you remember this, Scott?
Yeah, because it's Doc Ock as Peter Parker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doctor Octopus takes over Spider-Man's body, but there's like a Force Ghost version of Peter still alive in his brain who appears to him. So the comic book reader gets both points of view, and you still have a character to root for because you know that they're still there deep down. And this way, it's a bit harder. So I'm hoping that I reckon early on we'll start to see signs, because otherwise it's like we're just reading a villain's book about a bastard version of Cap we don't really like that much. And so they've got to kind of give us something to, a corner to get behind, if you like. So I'm just interested to see how they handle it. I thought that this issue was a bit too much on the exposition. It didn't really do anything other than give us all that background.
They could have done the Red Skull thing, but like maybe over one issue, like another issue, like rather than just info dump, bombshell info dump. Yeah. Unless they're gonna go with a massive issue 3, then that's why they needed to get all the exposition out now.
Maybe, yeah.
Hopefully, because if they have a thing that's just like in issue 3, then it's just gonna kill the momentum of the story. Like right now, I'm still on, and it needs to keep going. If that makes sense.
What do you reckon, Alex?
You're forgetting about the little hive doll that Kobik was holding. That made the whole issue for me.
Yeah.
She was lying in the bed getting the story read to her. She got a little doll. That was cool. But yeah, I agree. There was a lot of explanation, but getting it out the way early opens up the story. Everyone is on the same page. Everyone knows exactly where they are, and then they can crack on with it now. Yeah. Issue 3 onwards and sort it out. I think it's going to be a Kobik related conclusion at the end. I don't think Cap's going to do it on his own, but I think it's going to come down to the fact that Kobik made him perfect again, and what Red Skull thinks she's done in comparison to what she has done, I think there's going to be a slight difference in that she's given him the beliefs of Hydra, but whether that's made him fully Hydra, or if there will still be remnants in there, he will still have his memories as well. And I think that's going to be the resolution there, the fact that she hasn't replaced those memories, because those are what make him such a powerful fighter as well. So to make him perfect, he needs to have those memories.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I don't take issue with the story direction. I think for me, there could have been a more elegant way of doing all this background. It just felt a bit too much for me. But we've certainly got all the shocks and all the exposition out of the way now, and the story's kind of opened up. And like you say, Scott, where's it going to go next? Who knows? So it'll be interesting to see what happens in issue 3.